Welcome, everyone. I'm thrilled to introduce Jason Shurka. He's the founder of UNIFYD Healing, a global nonprofit organization dedicated to making breakthrough health technologies accessible and affordable worldwide. Today, he'll be discussing the incredible success of UNIFYD Healing and the revolutionary energy enhancement system that's transforming lives across the globe. Jason, welcome to the Next News Network.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, there's really a lot to unpack today regarding health and wellness through UNIFYD Healing. Tell us about the success of the organization on the national level, because immediately people might want to be skeptical or discount this as some new age foo-foo stuff, but the success really speaks for itself.
Totally. That's where I go first. At the end of the day, in less than 2 years, with no venture capitalists, no big people with a lot of money, it's just individuals around the world that heard a call to action. We've successfully opened nearly 450 centers with this technology right
Wow.
behind me here. So that's what this is all about. It's the energy enhancement system technology. And again, say what you want, but not that many centers would have opened if there wasn't some form of proof in the pudding, with people sharing their stories and firsthand testimonials and really seeing it work firsthand.
Well, I went to your website. I was doing some investigation and trying to really understand what this is all about, and the testimonials really spoke for themselves. So if people are curious, they can hit the link in the description, and you can read the testimonials for yourself. Now, Jason, how does the energy enhancement system work? It looks like a screen behind you that is flowing some type of matrix or something. Can you explain it?
I'm going to ask you a question to make it logical sense.
Okay.
Red light therapy.
Mm.
If I told you sit in front of a red light 15 years ago, you would probably think I'm crazy, right?
Yes.
And today, a lot of people do it, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Everywhere. So we know that light has the power to help the body heal itself. And I'm not saying light has the power to heal you, because this technology is not healing you. Your body heals itself. The technology is responsible for creating the proper environment to catalyze the process of the body doing what it does best, which is heal itself. So without getting too nitty gritty, it's really using energy, light, and the movement of light with certain wavelengths, otherwise known as color or color therapy, to help the body heal itself. But to be honest, when I first saw this, I also said, there's no way. There's no way that something like this can do what I'm hearing. There's no way that something with screens and lights can actually do that. But what really got me into understanding there's something here is when something happened to my own family, because I knew there's no paid actors or actresses there. My own aunt, and this is just her testimonial. This is not a claim whatsoever. This is just what she shared with what happened to her in her own authentic experience. She had a 13.5 centimeter fibroid in her uterus. In a few hours, the woman was back to herself. And believe it or not, at that point, it still wasn't enough for me, because who's to say that's not the placebo effect? I needed it to happen on animals to see something happen differently, to believe it a little bit more. And lo and behold, within 24 hours, my sister's dog, a little toy poodle, we find a 4 centimeter tumor in his neck. It's this cyst in his neck. And we're like, oh my God, let's send him there and see what happens. 3 nights later, the dog's fine. He's clear. The vet was like, what'd you guys do? We wanted to do surgery. What did you guys do? There's something going on here. So that really caused me to dive deeper into the understanding of the science behind this. It's really just understanding the world in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. It's not woo-woo. It's science. It's just the science that we're not taught nowadays, and it's the science that we need to bring back.
Well, I've seen videos of sound waves on a dish and sand, and how sound waves will absolutely reconstruct sand or water molecules. It's remarkable how different frequencies have a different effect on different elements. So this is clearly operating in the same wavelength. So now
Totally.
across the country, people are eager to try new, innovative health solutions. So what's really the secret?
It's not a secret. Nikola Tesla, he has a famous quote. He said, when you begin to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, you will understand the secrets of the universe. It's the truest quote there is, because if you think in terms of the base of life, you can master the game of life. So think about it like this, and I'll simplify it to make it really easy. there's a law called the law of synchronization with your environment. And this is not a secret, but it's a secret because many people don't know it. So we're going to bring it out to light today. And it's something that you can apply in your life with the EE system and with everything else around you. The law of synchronization with your environment simply states the environment that you're in is the environment that you synchronize with. What that means is if you put yourself in a distorted energetic environment, you're going to synchronize with distortion in your body. If you put yourself in a coherent energetic environment, you're going to synchronize with coherence. Think of women. They synchronize with their menstrual cycles.
Yeah.
They're not giving it to each other. They're experiencing it for the majority of the time at the same time because they're synchronizing with the environment that's giving them a synchronized expression. So it's like when you spend enough time around a depressed person, you get sad. And when you spend time around a happy person, you become happier. That's the law of synchronization with your environment. So this technology, if you're asking about the secret, simply put, and there's a lot of nuances to this of explaining the details, which we don't need to get into today, but big picture for the layperson, it's creating a coherent energetic environment for your body to synchronize with. And when your body synchronizes with that, your body's an incredible form of technology that can do incredible things when given the proper resources as opposed to toxins and pollutants and so on and so forth.
That's amazing. Jason, from what I understand, there's some really prominent figures who are supporting this initiative. Can you tell us more who they are and what's their involvement with the organization?
Sure. So before this started, before I came into the picture about 2 years ago, 90% of this technology was in private homes. 10% was public facing in terms of centers. So there were really only about 20 centers 2 years ago. Today, almost 450 in a very short period of time. Now, this technology, just to put into perspective, has been around since 1996. It's been around for a long time. It's just been around more wealthy individuals in the private sector. So we're talking about certain royal families. We're talking about royal families in places like the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. We're talking about people like Tony Robbins. Now, comedians, very famous comedians like J.P. Sears has the technology. Lee Allen Baker used to be on the Disney Channel with, I think it was Good Luck Charlie, that show has the technology. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has the technology in his home as well now, amongst many other people. Not all of them I'm allowed to name because of certain non-disclosure agreements that we have with them. But it started with prominent individuals having them. My goal was to say, how do we bring this to the common person? How do we make this affordable? How do we make this accessible? And that's where we really set out to change the ratio. Instead of 90 private, 10% public, let's make it 90% public and 10% private and really open it to everybody. So that's what we did. People like Tony Robbins have been an incredible support. He actually has an interview called Revive that I did with him on his YouTube channel as well that talks about this technology. And it's somehow only the beginning because there are many people hopping on this train because of the testimonials.
Now, walk us through a typical experience where somebody would walk into one of these clinics and they would, like, how does it work? Because I've seen some of the pictures, and we have some here, I believe. Here's a picture from one of the clinics, and it looks pretty relaxed, and I see those devices on the wall. Now, my immediate interpretation is, okay, well, these are a stacked series of screens that are playing that loop that you have behind you. Now, my immediate, because I've done neurofeedback, and I know, when they attach all the stuff to your brain or your head, and you sit in front of a screen, you're just sitting there staring at a screen. But I don't see that in this picture here. I see this sort of in the background. Now, could you walk us through what a typical experience might be for somebody, and how do you know what frequency or what visuals that individual is going to require?
So that's the beauty of this technology. I'll start with the end of your question because it's a very good question. A lot of people say, well, do I have to tune it to this or that or whatever it is? The difference between this and most other technologies out there, and there are amazing technologies out there. The reason why I advocate so strongly for this is because it covers a wide spectrum. So it's not something like Rife technology, for example, that you're going to take and tune to a specific frequency to
Right.
target something specific. That's an incredible technology, but it also is a one-on-one sort of basis thing. We have 8 billion people that need help on this planet, and we need to do it in mass. So the way that the inventor, Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, built this technology, it's a form of scalar energy and scalar technology, which covers a much wider range of frequencies. So you don't have to tune it per individual. It's something that covers the wide range that every individual will respond differently and have different priorities in their body of what their body chooses to help heal first, second, and third, because the body is doing that job and not the technology. All in all, it's very simple. You don't have to stare at the screens to receive the energy, just like you don't have to stare at the sun to receive vitamin D. It's not just through your eyes, it's through your entire being, it's through your body, it's through your skin. So when it comes to this center, any center around the world, generally speaking, you'd walk in, you see a room with a much bigger form of technology than this. This is actually called the EE System Cube, the EE Cube. It's a smaller version, more so for homes and things like that. This is 2 cubes stacked on top of each other. But in these centers that you see around the world, you'll see much bigger towers with a much more powerful field, electromagnetic field that's going to be creating to create that coherency for many people at the same time.
So you mentioned, no, real
Yep.
quick, you mentioned it's a cube. Now, obviously, I can only see one side. Are there screens on all 4 sides of that
Yep.
device?
Yep. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the front. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a different form of the technology. That's more for homes. That's what I would recommend if somebody wants to take it for their own home. Go for either a cube or a smaller system. But the bigger systems are really in the centers. That's where you have the massive ones. And not everybody can fit something like that in their homes. So it also takes a large install team to do all that. And EE System sends people out to make that happen. But back to the experience, you walk in, you sit in a chair, and you relax. You relax, you meditate, you breathe. The best thing you can possibly do is sleep there. Why? Because when you're sleeping, your body's already regenerating and rejuvenating itself. This just does that on a much higher level. It's already in a state of relaxation. This will give you a whole lot more energy. And I can speak on that on my own personal experience. When I heard about this, I went to sleep at a center. I actually went to sleep at a private house that had 32 of these units in their home around their bed. I woke up the next morning like Superman. I felt like I could do anything for the next 1 to 2 weeks. I actually had so much energy. I worked beyond what was humanly possible for me at the time. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already a workaholic. I don't know if my body can handle much more. But let's talk about some of the nonprofit work that your organization is doing, because they're expanding so rapidly and you're giving back through this initiative. Explain how you are giving back.
Sure. So when I say we are giving back, I'm talking about Unified Healing and EE System. And EE System is really, they are what all of this is. Unified Healing was really created to help EE System, to bring more awareness to EE System because of the belief and knowingness that we have in this technology with the results that we're seeing around the world. So everything that I'm going to mention today is, yes, with Unified Healing, but ultimately because of EE System, they made all of this happen. They really pushed all of this, and we're so generous with, once everything started growing, let's give back wherever we can. So it started with an ashram in India. We went to India. We gave a 24-unit system to an ashram in India in a room that could fit 500 people at any given time. They're having incredible testimonials. I actually just got a text from the guru of the ashram saying, thank you. You don't understand what people are experiencing over here. And that's actually free and open to the public throughout the entire country of India. So we did that because we wanted to have underserved communities be able to experience this that may not be fortunate enough to pay for it. So with that, there's a school here in New York we gave a bunch of cubes to, and they're a school it's for children who have disabilities in many different ways. Incredible results over there as well. And we really give back across the board when we see children in need. EE System is giving cubes to kids that have disabilities. We have a whole form that people are filling out, and we go through those and see whenever we could give some away. Let's go through those forms and those applications and do the best that we can. We're working on a project here in the US. We're going to be working on a project in Africa, and hopefully we're going to be finalizing a project at some point in the Philippines as well. So we're really
That really brings me to my next question, because the centers are appearing all over the world, and in various parts of the country. What is driving this widespread interest in improving health? I mean, we're bombarded by so many things in our environment every day.
The answer is simple: people sharing their stories. People sharing their stories. And again, in this case, unified healing is intended, it's a vehicle to raise awareness. So we're raising awareness in many ways, endless ways across the board. And I thank my team as well at Unified Healing and the EE System team for doing all that. But ultimately, it's the results, man. It comes down to the results. At the end of the day, I could tell you all I want about this technology. The question is, does it translate in real life? And it translates so much so in real life that we have 50 new applications for people who want to open centers every month.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Now, I'm going to bring up a picture on the screen. This is when I was doing my research, and I'm like, this is a really, like, this looks like almost like a spa. Is this what a typical center looks like? And I see, like, beds, and I see the screens. So,
yeah, so
explain what's happening here.
Sometimes you'll see beds. This is a center that's more focused on privacy and a center that's also more focused on sleeping there. There are some centers that don't offer overnights, although most do. And this is just a center that made it extremely comfortable to make that happen. So each center is different, creative, and unique in its own way, but they all have either a recliner, a very comfortable one, or a bed that you can actually sleep in. But think of it like an energy spa. That's what it is.
Well, I definitely, when I saw that picture of all those beds, I'm like, you know what? Like, that looks like a really comfortable place to go and just disconnect and regenerate. And speaking of which, so how does the EES system help the body heal itself? I mean, we kind of touched on this earlier. Yep. Can you kind of dive a little deeper into the actual scientific application in the body?
Sure. So I'll go to the technology for a second. It's broken up into two portions. There's one portion that operates on the scalar side of the equation, which is a type of energy. And there's another part of the equation that operates on what we call the light within the spectrum part of the equation. So think about reality, energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything works in terms of vibration. Everything has a vibration to it. Physical reality is from 0 to the speed of light. Anything after the speed of light is what they call quantum science, the quantum field. That's the quantum realm that they're referring to. So we as human beings, as a body, understand, number one, that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's called the law of conservation of energy. If energy cannot be created or destroyed, and everything physical is made up of energy, that means that you, me, every human being on this planet, in essence, is made up of energy. That means that we exist on the physical plane, and we exist on the energetic plane as well. So we need to balance both sides of the equation if you want to have true holistic health occur in your body and beyond. So in the technology, if you see on those screens, right under the screen, there's what looks like a black box. That black box is called an engine field generator. It's an engine that generates electromagnetic fields. And scientifically speaking, if you want to create your balanced field of energy, that in science they call the toroidal field, it's a perfect field of energy. That's the field that you want to synchronize with. You need to take identical electromagnetic fields, align them precisely, and their merging point will create a toroidal field.
Wow.
So that's the black box portion of the technology, the engine field generator. And what you see on the screens is the part that actually helps balance you on the physical level through light. Think red light therapy, blue light therapy. It's using light and the movement of light through the medium of light to help the body rebalance itself physically.
So looking at this picture again, there's the boxes that are underneath those screens, those are actually magnetic field generators?
They're engine field generators. Everything has an electromagnetic field to it. The question is this one completely aligned and completely identical to the one next to it? So those boxes that they built using technology is using technology in a good way, because technology also has a very bad name today. It's something that's bad, but it can also be something that's amazing if the intentions of the creator, of the inventor in this case, are good, coming from a higher place. So yes, those are engine field generators creating identical electromagnetic fields. They align them precisely. So those screens that you saw, it's not somebody that just put them on a shelf. But when the team came in there, every screen across from itself, because you see they're somewhat slanted, every screen has a correlating screen across the room that's aligned precisely with a laser within 1/100th of an inch, because you need to align them
Wow.
precisely to create the toroidal field. So it's a big deal
Oh,
to
wow.
insulin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love this stuff. It's there's so much we don't know about our environment and about the ether and these toroidal fields and all. I mean, all these things are so fascinating, and we see people defaulting to standard medicine. They go and pop pills to make themselves feel better. They're always simply treating the symptoms, never getting to the root causes.
Mhm.
So when I see technology like this, I get excited. I really do, because I feel it's so long overdue that the American people and the people across the world at large have access to this type of technology. There's so much suppressed. There is so much suppressed through all the different corporations. They all have a vested interest in making sure certain technologies never come to the surface. So this is exciting to see that people are actually having access to something that's groundbreaking. And with respect to that, what kind of success stories? You mentioned some earlier when we started the program, but can you give us some other success stories from individuals who've experienced the benefits of the EE system at the Unified Healing Center?
Yes. So what I'll say is this: if you really want all of them, because there are thousands of them and not just written in text, but in videos, I would go to the website, UNIFYDhealing.com, because that's where you can really go deeper into it. Now, what I will say is, again, none of these are claims made by anybody. These are individuals sharing their own authentic experiences, and you take it or leave it. You can decide whether you want to go with them or not. But the reason why we share them is because we can break through belief barriers. When you see somebody dealing with your same situation that overcame something, it makes you more, it increases the potential of you believing that you can also change that. Now, it would happen anyways, but your belief and the power of belief with the placebo will make it even stronger than what it would have done objectively. And we know that scientifically. So, in short, there are an infinite amount of different ailments that people are dealing with that they've reported on when it comes to testimonials. And straight from the websites, we see people talking about allergies, bladder problems, bones, the C word that I'm not going to talk about, circulation, cognitive, digestive, emotional imbalances, mental health, hearing. Hair was a big one that I heard many people speak about, overcoming infections that they've reported on, inflammation in the body suddenly going away with what they've been seeing. Again, mental imbalances is a big one, because everything really starts emotionally speaking and then manifests physically speaking. Believe it or not, and this was a funny one for me to see, there are a lot of people, they're like, I don't need to use Viagra anymore. So the men are starting to love it too, because I don't need it. I don't need it. And they're like, 70, 75. So that was one of the funny ones that I've seen recently, where vets were sending it in, veterans were sending it in and saying, I don't need to use that pill anymore.
Right
It's
on.
happening.
And attention, sir.
It's very funny. So again, across the board, and really what I would pay attention to, just being the healthy skeptic as I am, and this is how my journey started, pay attention to what's going on to animals. Because you could say placebo all you want on humans, you cannot ride that wave with animals. It doesn't work the same way. So on the website at unifydhealing.com, with the system technology, there's a whole section only about animals that people can go read, watch videos about, read texts about, and all that. And the reason why we included videos is because, again, if a skeptic comes in, who wrote the text? Nobody knows, but you could see who made the video.
Of
And when you
course.
see who made the videos, you know that it's real people. It's very obvious.
That's a good point to make, because there's, I mean, that the internet is full of people who just, have bots and such. So, go to the website, see it for yourself, and you'll find the link in the description, so you can go. Now, for everybody who's watching, who want to improve their health, or perhaps for entrepreneurs who are interested in starting their own center, can you explain how they can get involved and what kind of support they might receive?
Totally. So, number one, if you go to unifydhealing.com, there's an apply section over there to open a center. If you do want to get the technology for your own private home, you can do that as well. And you can also do that through unifydhealing.com and eesystem.com to learn more about that. The application is the same. What I will say is, and I'm just making this super transparent, we do not accept everybody, because this is not just about how do we open as many centers as possible. This is about also having the proper people with aligned intentions to make this happen. With that, there are people that are doing incredible work and they're making good money, but they're using that money the right way. And that's what we really want to see over here with the people that are coming on board. God bless you. Live an abundant life. Make sure to take care of everybody around you as well. So some of the support that they'll get is specifically with help through awareness and marketing. That's where Unified Healing will come in to help raise awareness through this initiative. We're bringing an average of 40 to 50 people to each center around the world on a monthly basis. So it's something that's already set up. It's something that's already there for people to be able to just say, I'm aligned. I'm ready to do this. I have the resources to make it happen. I want to be a part of this mission. So they can apply at UNIFYDhealing.com. There is an application process. There is a multi-tiered interview process. It's vetted across the board. And if everything checks out, you can become a center owner.
That's remarkable. Now, how can the audience help spread awareness about Unified Healing and the energy enhancement system?
Go to a center near you as soon as possible. Don't walk there, run there and experience it for yourself, even if you're skeptical. And I love the skeptics more, because you go in, then you have an experience, and then you really are like, okay, I didn't believe it and something happened. So just like I was in the very beginning, go to a center yourself. Healthy skeptic or somebody that's completely open, doesn't matter. UNIFYDhealing.com is where you can find a center near you. It's super easy. You put in your zip code, you fill out the location that you're in. It will show you exactly the closest center so you can set up an appointment. And one thing I didn't mention here, which is important, is we created a rule based on what I would call the downside of what I've been seeing with the whole medical system in general in our world today. When something works, they raise the prices because they know that they can take advantage of people. So we created something for checks and balances to protect people going to centers so that can never happen. We created a cap where nobody can charge more than $60 per hour on average per session per person. We did that to make sure that nobody's taken advantage of. So that's the goal of keeping it affordable, making it accessible. In third world countries, there's an even lower cap over there to make it even better for those people. So I would go find a center near you as soon as possible.
I'm looking up mine right now. I'm going to punch in my zip code and see where we're at. Let's see.
Where are you located?
We're in an undisclosed location in west of Chicago. But the closest one here is in Roselle, Illinois.
Yeah, there are tons. I think there are like 8 in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Look into that.
Yeah, so
but there are tons in Chicago on the side as well.
They have a 24-unit EE system, and there's a bunch of icons here. There's a moon, a dog, a wheelchair, and a car. I'm not sure.
That means they're wheelchair accessible. They allow pets, and you can sleep there.
Wow. Okay.
It's cool stuff.
So if I click
tell you what,
this,
if you want to experience it, give me a call. I'll set you up there so you can experience it yourself.
oh yeah, no, my wife. I mean, I know my wife. She's all about this stuff. You know, she likes to go to like the salt caves and those types of things, and so and red light. You know, you mentioned the red light therapy. You know, she's all about that stuff. And like I mentioned before, we did the neurofeedback, which is remarkable. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna share this with her, and I'm gonna find out. Let's see, I'm gonna find out exactly how far this is away from me. Yeah, we'll connect after this, and then
awesome.
Give me a coupon code or something.
I'll give you the best one. It's free.
That sounds great. Well, Jason, it's really been enlightening to have you with us here on the program. I really hope that everyone will take advantage and at least investigate it for yourself. You know, if you're skeptical, that's fine. You know, but like you mentioned, the best part about skeptics is that once you investigate, sometimes you get converted. So we hope that happens when people do. Go to your website and see for themselves, type in their zip code, and find out where the closest center is. And the prices you mentioned are not bank breaking prices. I was in the back of my mind, I'm going, oh, this is probably like, you know, really, really expensive, and thinking that it's gonna, you know, just cost too much. But no, when you mentioned that's not very much. So,
No.
Jason, any final thoughts before we go?
I just want to say thank you for raising awareness for this and helping us. And anybody that is interested and even looking into the more empirical evidence, eesystem.com. There's a research tab there as well. Check that out and look into the research yourself. There's tons of studies underway as well to get newer ones that are in the pipeline. And I just look forward to hearing more miracle stories from people around the world. So thank you for having me, and thank you for everybody who is tuned in.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jason. Jason, sincerely, thank you for sharing your incredible work. Unified Healing, obviously doing some revolutionizing in the health and wellness industry worldwide. And the energy enhancement system, I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to get that coupon code and I'm going to go find out for myself, because, you know, we got to find out. We got to put our feet in the water. We have to investigate for ourselves. And that's when we find out the truth. So find out if it's a game changer in your life. Visit the links in the description, because if you want health and vitality, you got to do the homework. And sometimes big pharma is not always the answer. So if you're looking to improve your health or become part of this growing network, make sure you visit UNIFYDhealing.com. That's UNIFYD. You can see it on the screen there. UNIFYDhealing.com. It's linked below. And type in your zip code and find out more how you can get involved. Together we can create a healthier and more vibrant world.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.